We need water every day in everything we do, and Cascade Water Alliance provides safe, clean, and reliable water for almost 400,000 residents and 20,000 businesses. Water for people, fish, and fun. Water for today and for tomorrow.
Water is very, very essential to the city. It's essential to human life. It's something that we think in the Pacific Northwest is all around us, but the reality is that it's an asset that could be scarce and something we have to plan for the future to make sure we have adequate water.
In the 1980s, it became clear that East Side communities might not have sufficient future drinking water, and it became a critical issue.
There was a concern about whether the city of Seattle was really interested in providing a long-term water supply to the East Side. The East Side cities had to take a deep look and decide what their future should be and whether they should have perhaps a better stake in the outcome for themselves by banding together, and that was the economic and geopolitical reason that we all came together.
The group's first task was simple: find a long-term drinking water supply. Serendipitously, Puget Sound Energy's hydroelectric power project at Lake Tapps was ending, and the entire White River Lake Tapps water project was available.
We bought essentially the entire White River hydroelectric project that had been built in 1911.
At that point in time, our demands were looking like we needed to put Lake Tapps supply online in a very short time period, which 15 years, 20 years in water supply terms means you got to start working on it immediately.
One of the options that the task force had come up with was possibly having somebody take over the lake. Cascade was one of the prime choices, which it looked real promising.
We were, of course, skeptical, but it's turned out to be the best thing that could have ever happened to our lake. So we thank you.
We took over operation actually in 2009 and basically operated it with two things in mind. One was to maintain the in-stream flows and to maintain recreational lake levels.
We looked at demands for water supply. We quickly realized that we weren't going to need Lake Tapps for quite a while.
But the ongoing task of owning and operating the 100-plus-year-old White River Lake Tapps project until it would be needed for water supply was daunting. Cascade hired Joe Mickelson to oversee the operations.
When I first came to Cascade, it was pretty overwhelming, the condition of the system and how poorly it was maintained, and learn how to get it back to where it could operate and function correctly. It's running well and doing good, what it was designed to do.
The purchase and ownership of Lake Tapps is relevant for another important reason. It shifted the balance of power over water in the region.
One of the things that we've learned about this organization is that a small organization can be very nimble, it can be very responsive.
It just made Cascade a player in the region's water future. This puts us in the position of being able to do that, and we weren't in that position before.
Well, I see Cascade as being a facilitator and a leader in the regional discussion with water utilities that share a whole lot of common interests. I see us at the regional table to make the best decisions for water supply that benefit our customers throughout the region.
The leadership that Cascade can provide, not only on water quality and water supply, I think can apply to other regional problems. I'm most personally proud that we can say we've created a water supply for 50 to 75 years. To have that much water security in this day and age is important.
But I think Cascade was one of the earliest and one of the most effective, and remains one of the leaders in this willingness and ability to recognize the environmental impacts of your work and become an agent for environmental progress and environmental improvement. You guys should be really proud about your role in sort of demonstrating this is how it can be done.
Through foresight, perseverance, changing times, and hard work, Cascade is celebrating its 20th anniversary. It has future water for the region. It is well governed. And looking ahead, the work continues. Through the dedication and foresight of their leaders, decades ago, residents in Bellevue, Issaquah, Kirkland, Redmond, Tequila, the Sammamish Plateau, and Skyway will have safe, clean, reliable water. Now, and for decades to come, will be water. Water for fish, water for people, and water for fun. Cascade Water Alliance. Water for today and for tomorrow.